Good morning, friends. Happy Monday. Yes, I am still in my robe and it is fast approaching noon. But that's okay because it's my favorite time of year, the in-between. And I have some things that I wanted to share with you. I just realized after I did about 10 stories. So if you follow me in my stories, they're a little long this morning. And as I was talking, I was like, you know what? I should just pop on and do a live because obviously I have a lot to say this morning. So I'm sipping on my protein mojo, getting protein in with some caffeine. And there's some things that have been in my heart that I wanted to share with y'all. And about taking the next right step. And how so many times in life we overwhelm ourselves. Okay, first of all, I have all of these freeze watch warnings popping up on my phone right now. Is the weather changing? First of all, it's really too warm to be in this robe, but it has been extremely warm here. And literally I see that we have freeze warnings coming. Obviously I need to check the weather. Okay, sorry, I digress. Hold on one second, sweetie, I'm on live. So, these chickens, if you have not seen, we have eggs.
She's too excited about it. She almost peed her pants.
So excited. Almost peed in my pants.
We're not. She's the only one.
Yes. So excited about the chickens.
Not me.
Okay. And the reason why I'm excited about these chickens is in the eggs and that we actually have them and that they're still alive is because we're not farmers. Right? We had no idea what we were doing with these chickens. We love to eat eggs. We literally go through more than a half a dozen eggs a day. If everyone is eating eggs, we almost go through a dozen.
All of us had eggs yesterday and today.
Yeah. But you don't always have 2 eggs. So Lincoln, Brian, myself, we have at least 2 eggs, right?
I have 2 eggs.
Yeah. So anyway, we go through a lot of eggs. So that was the thought. We had a neighbor that had chickens and he had, a lot of eggs. And so when we moved here, and had 2 acres, it was like, of course, let's get chickens and have eggs. But we had no clue what we were doing. Leighton had said for science, he wanted to learn about chickens and eggs. Now he's denying that he ever said that. I should have recorded it because he literally did. But we just kept taking the next right step, right? That's what this whole point is. And so we got an incubator and we rented it. There was a lady from our co-op. Good morning, Sarah. Look, Sarah's there. You tell her hi.
Hi.
And so we got the incubator and we got the eggs. And guess what? None of them hatched. Not one egg. And then I was thinking, well, maybe God thinks we can't handle chickens, right? I wasn't even like that upset about it. But we decided to try again. And so we incubated eggs again. And this was in June, right? And then they hatched July 9th. And when they hatched...
They hatched July 7th because that's when I went to
July 7th. Yeah, okay. You're right. The last one was July 9th. You're right. Yeah, July. He has a memory like an elephant. So hatched July 7th because it was his first day of camp. He remembers that. And I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting them to hatch. I remember making my mojo and turning around and almost dying because there was a chicken breaking out of the egg. And then it's like, oh, now we really have to learn what to do, right? We had the brooder, we had a heater, we had some things. But we just had to figure it out, right? And so we had a book. We started really reading the book faster. We're like, okay, now we have to build the coop. We had the coop, but we hadn't started. And so we had to just keep taking the right next step. And when I tell you every next step felt overwhelming, it did. And I kept hearing things from friends that weren't even in the books. My good friend Kendall kept giving me advice. Sarah kept giving me advice. I'm like, how do you even know this? These things, these little nuggets of information are not even in these books and things that I've been reading, right? So many of y'all gave me advice or in my messages. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what would I do without y'all? I wouldn't even know. So kept taking the right next step. So we're trying to build this coop and these chickens are getting big fast. And it was in the middle of the summer, and so we're near the beach, right? And it rains a lot in the afternoon. So every day, we would hammer in one screw, and then the flood would come. And then we learned where we put the coop. Part of our land that floods. We didn't know because it's a part that we don't really see every day. And it was just one thing after the other. And I say this because I know that you can relate to something in your life that whenever I thought about the end game of us having a coop with chickens, producing the eggs, living, I literally did not see how we were actually going to get there. Like the pathway there was never clear. It was never easy. It was never, we just know what to do. It was just taking the next right step, right? And then here we are with a coop that's built, with chickens that have not been eaten by predators. And it's not even really predator proof that well, actually. And now we have eggs, okay? And so what is my point of this? It's almost the new year, right? The fresh page, January. And wherever you're at, there might be something you're holding on to 2025 that feels like you didn't get done what you wanted to get done. And maybe you stopped because you were overwhelmed. Maybe you stopped because the end game, I remember when I had over 100 pounds to lose, the thought of ever reaching that goal and actually losing 100 pounds felt unattainable. No way. I had not proven myself that I could do that based on previous health things, right? Like it was start and stop and start and stop. And so there was no clear evidence that the goal that I was wanting to achieve was going to come to fruition. But I decided to stop waiting. And I decided to start taking the next right step. And 1 pound turned into 2 pounds, that turned into 3, etc. Until a year later, I was down 100 pounds. Okay. The next right step. I could give you an example of our finances where that has been the case, right? So homeschooling. When I started homeschooling the boys, I never thought Leighton would learn to read. My other 2 came into homeschooling where the public school system had already taught them to read. But Leighton was not, because he never went to public school. And the year that he was in kindergarten, pre-K, at this private Christian school, his teacher was having a hard time. And she didn't do her best at helping him to read. Love her. It's a fact. It's truth. It was COVID. It was hard. And so I never thought he would be able to. I never did. And it was so overwhelming. And it was so hard so many days of him throwing down and having a complete tantrum because he would get so frustrated. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, right? But I kept taking the steps. I kept researching. I kept finding books. And I found one that fit us. And we did little tiny things every day, little consistencies. And now he's reading at his grade level. And so wherever you're at in your life, I know this is getting rambly, but just take the next right step. I made a post this morning that as part of my Temple 77 program that I kind of started last year. It's free. It's really a play on 75 hard. If you don't know, I really feel like that challenge changed my life. It got me to stop drinking alcohol and to just realizing that I had more self-control than what I thought I had, right? And so this is a version for January that is really just going to help to reset. It is alcohol-free. For me, I'm 5.5 years in. That's no longer even a thought. But for some people, it's a real thing. And for some people, you've been drinking more this time of year. And so maybe you're like, yeah, I need to step away from that for a minute. Sugar. So we're going to detox from sugar. And we're going to detox from alcohol for the month of January. You will have me. It is free to do this. You will have me as your personal coach and supporting you. And it's going to be filled with some scripture that goes along with it. God calls us to take care of the temple that he has given us. That is our body. And so this is scripture, people. I think sometimes Christians miss the mark on this the most because eating food is not a sin, right? But too much is gluttony. And if you really start learning what sugar does to your body, you will realize that it's not setting your temple up the way God designed. And so We're going to do that. Put you in a chat together to help, accountability, community, all of that good stuff. And I would love to have you be a part of it. So if you want more info on that, look at that post, comment below Reset or Temple, and I'll send you some information. But the other thing I wanted to share, and I shared this in my stories this morning, I am in the process of, I have had in my heart wanting to create this devotional or Bible study. I'm not sure kind of which yet. More geared towards kids, right? And geared towards helping them to truly understand that they are that we all are created in the image of God, not just right and wrong and Bible stories, but really what they mean. Because I feel like that's something that I was missing as a child. I didn't really get it, right? I was in church every Sunday, every Wednesday, but I still walked away and went to college not getting it and not having it sunk in my heart and locked down. And so that is something that I'm super passionate about helping my boys get and understand. And for a while now, probably at least 2 years, I've had in my heart wanting to create this. It's something that we already do. I'm always piecing together things. There's nothing that I have found that is like open up a book and go through this with your kid, but I'm always grabbing things from my own studies and trying to pour that into them. And I've never started it or even thought to do it because I felt overwhelmed, because thinking of how I'm going to run a business and homeschool and take care of myself and take care of our home and also add in time to create this, it seems overwhelming. That end game stops me in my tracks before I get started. And so these silly chickens have reminded me once again, God used the chickens to show me, just take the right next step. Just take the right next step. And so if that's something that you like the idea of, and maybe, adults can even benefit from this, right? We are made in the image of God. We have that in us, right? And so what does that look like? How does that play out in our day-to-day life? Those are the things that we talk about a lot in this house. And so I am sharing this on here to commit to myself to move forward in taking those right next steps, so that more people can really either one, share it with their children, or two, understand it for themselves, what that truly means and how God's goodness is already inside of you. You just have to activate it. So all of those things I wanted to share with you this morning. I hope you have the most beautiful day, and just take a step today. Whatever that is, go move your body, drink your water, say no to some sugar, lead with protein. There are so many little things you can do throughout the day that do not have to be overwhelming, but just move you forward in taking that right next step that will get you to whatever you want your end goal to be. All right. Cheers, friends. Bye.